we have a Rockwood Mini Light 2504S. It's a 2017 with the Murphy bed, and a lot of people with the Murphy beds experience this here, this huge gap at the headboard area. You can see you can lose your pillows in there, and so in a video that I made before, I made this contraption here that fills that gap, and it sets in there. And if you want, you can see that video how I made it, and I think I got measurements in there too. And there's a link above, and I'll put it in the description below. What I'm gonna do is we haul this thing, just so you know, we haul this thing around with us. It works good, but it's kind of a pain to get in and out. So I want to put something more permanent in there where I don't have to take it in or out. It could stay there all the time. I've seen people, sometimes they've taken and put back here a board that will flip down with a piano hinge, and then it pulls up in place and latches. I just want to have something there all the time. So what I did is I went down to the hardware store and bought a 1x6 pine board. It's a clear board, and I'm going to cut it down. And what I figured what I needed back there in this area was to come out from the wall 4.5 inches, and the board is going to connect on the side panel there, and then I'm going to have a brace under it so it doesn't warp down over time, because it's going to span that area. So let's get this thing started. I'm going to cut this board down, and I'll show you from there where I go with this. So the first thing I did was, in the back wall here is sloped slightly, and that shelf will go across here. So I needed to make an angle cut on this piece here. So I'll show you over here. So I cut an angle on there so it'd fit on the wall. It's a 13-degree angle. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut my 4.5 inches wide from the widest part of that angle. So now I've got this piece ripped 4.5 inches from the widest point on the angle over. There's my piece I got cut off. And then what I did here, I had to put a small notch right here, because you probably can't see it here, I have a little piece of trim there. So when it sits against the wall, that trim is in the way there. So I wanted to slide all the way against the wall. I also made it so that this board fits in there, not really tight. I left maybe about 1/16 or 1/8 of an inch on each side, so that when I'm going to put a foam pad on top of here, and then I'm going to have it wrapped with fabric and then stapled down here. So I want it to fit nice and tight. I'm going to flip this over so this is on the bottom side to show you what I'm going to do there. Here it is flipped upside down. I have this piece here running along here. It's just sitting here right now. This is a shelf. This is the bottom of the shelf. So what will happen is, when I get this, I'll get it all glued and screwed into place. It'll add strength to this board so it doesn't bow at all from the distance across there. It'll give it strength so it keeps it straight. Then I was just going to take this wood here. Let's say it's it's a 3/4 by 1 inch. I was just going to run it across here and glue it, and then use it to anchor the ends here into the side of the cabinets, right there and there on the bottom of the shelf that I'm putting in. But I just happen to have these around. They're leftover some strap aluminum that I had with their angle. They got holes in them already, so I thought I'll do that. I'll use those up, and then I'll get that all in place. And then I probably, this is the side that's going to show, this front side, this is the bottom, and so I'm going to probably stain and varnish it. This here will show, this won't, because the fabric will come around here. So I'll get that all done. I have all this together now. What I did is I glued this strip on, then tacked it in with some pin nails off my nail gun. And then let me come over here. And then I just put 5 screws down here into it just to make sure it holds. But the glue should hold it. Then I took here, drilled holes for my brackets. They go on the end here. And then I have on here I got lock washers, and I put super glue on the thread so they won't come loose. Then I notched here for the bracket. So like I said before, this will be the face here. My fabric will come around the edge and then staple up under here. So I sanded this edge here. I broke it with sandpaper so it's not sharp. Then over on this side, I kind of broke this edge so it's not sharp because the fabric will wrap over here. The foam will get glued onto the top of this. I got this foam at a local fabric shop, and so it's 1 inch thick, and I had them cut it 4.5 inches wide. It was cheaper for me to get it in pieces, so what I did was I glued it together in a couple spots using this it's Home Depot multi-spray adhesive. Just sprayed it on the ends, 2 coats on both pieces, and then put them together, and they stuck immediately. So, and then what I'll do is I'll stick it onto the board here and then go with my fabric over it. So this is the glue I used. It's just wood glue, waterproof, interior, exterior. Then, like I was saying before, this piece that's going to show in the front is going to get stained. So this is pine, so I use a pre-stained wood conditioner on it. You can kind of see on here, if you don't condition the wood with pine, it'll turn out kind of splotchy. It'll look a lot cleaner if you use the conditioner on it. So they sell that at Home Depot also. Then I'll use my stain, and then I'm going to just do a polyurethane spray on it. So all that shows on it is the face and the fabric here. So so in the beginning I mentioned here on this is where you lose your pillows, but there's another reason I'm doing this, is because these beds are a short queen bed, and so I'm just over 6'3". So if I have my pillows sitting right on the edge of the mattress, I don't have as much leg room down here. My feet could end up hanging over. So by having that gap filled in there, I can have my pillows right up against the headboard, which gives me a lot of leg space. So with my other contraption I had, with that in there, I had plenty of leg space and my feet were never hitting the end of the bed. So that's another good reason to be doing this if you're tall. Plus the biggest thing is sleeping in the middle of the night and your pillow's disappearing and you're like, what's going on, fishing around for it at night. So I'm going to go ahead and put the foam on, and then and stain the front. Before I go staining this and putting it together, I just kind of want to show you, I taped it in place here so you could see what it looks like. In place, it's just taped in place, and then the foam will sit on top of it. I'll show you what that looks like. Here's what it looks like with the foam taped in place. It's not perfectly level yet, but it's going to be flush with the top of the bed mattress. So we have it's a 10-inch bed mattress on this Murphy bed, and that's the maximum you can go. So when this bed's folded up, there's plenty of room back there just to leave this in place. And you can kind of see here the gap that'll be there. It'll be a little bit, but I can live with that. I'm going to pull the mattress back so you can kind of take a look and see what it looks like. Here's what it looks like with the mattress pulled back. So there's plenty of room back here. If something falls back in there where I can reach down and get it. And then, like I said, those brackets, I'll just bolt right into the side, bolt or screw, and do the same on the other side here. And it'll be in place. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing stained up. I got this thing stained up. I put that pre-stained wood conditioner on it first. I just want to show you here for other projects if you have them. If you ever staining pine or any other woods that don't stain evenly, you can see here what it looks like. It evens it out. Here's a piece of wood where it isn't pre-conditioned. See that? It's all blotchy and it didn't take the stain evenly. So just a tip for you if you ever stain wood that doesn't take stain very well. I'm going to get this thing varnished up now. I got all the foam adhered to the top of this, and you can see here in the face I did my varnish in the front. It's all dry, and then I got fabric that I have left over from the last unit I put on, so it's just going to go over this. This is a face right here. It's going to tuck under and staple along here. Come around the other side, it'll tuck under here. On the ends, it's just going to come down here and staple like that. If you could see, I allowed room for the fabric here when I put my bracket in. So this bracket will fit right in between the two cabinets from there to there, like I showed you before. So I'm going to go ahead and get stapling this on the unit and see how it works out. Here it is, I'm stapling it. So I just started on the front. Just going along stapling it, probably every inch or so. Just with a regular staple gun. The face is all stapled right here, and now I'm going to go around and do the back side right over along here, and then I'll do the ends. Now the back side's all stapled in place, and the trick to it is just to keep this tight, but not too tight when you're pulling it to staple it, so you aren't stretching the fabric too much. I'll show you the other side. So here's the other side. Here's what it looks like. And since the fabric was too short, we have a seam in the middle. So it's right in the middle. So this way it'll determine This is my wife's side. This is my side. Don't cross this line. That's what she says. So now I'm going to staple off the ends and go from there. Here's how the ends turned out. You can see the angle here that goes against the wall. Turned out pretty good. It's all together. So now, what I got, I'm inside the trailer. On the bed and mattress here, I held it up in place. So my mattress goes to about this level. So I measured, and that's the top of the mattress. So then I held the shelf in place right here, all the way across, marked where the bracket holes are, drilled it. This is 1/8 inch paneling, so it's really thin. I used a 1/4 inch drill bit, and I'm going to use these 1/4 inch bolts and washers, lock washers, and nuts. So inside is just the paneling. So what I did is over here, I removed the drawer which lines up with that, and I'll show you inside here what I did. Inside the drawer, I needed to have a good backing in here. So you can see here, I just took a 3/4 inch thick plywood and cut it, and then I took and just put some hot glue on it and stuck it in place. And then what I'm going to do is drill through that and then put my bolts through there. So I got a good backing. So I'll have a 3/4 inch and 1/8 inch. I'm doing this on both sides. So I'm going to get this thing in and show you what it looks like. I got the holes drilled through and the bolts setting in place. So I'm going to put the shelf in place, then slide the bolts into the bracket and put the washers, lock washers, and the nuts on. Here's the bolts nice and tight against the plywood piece that I put in there. Now I'll go to the headboard piece. Here's underneath the headboard piece. You can see I put some tape on there on the metal so I wouldn't scratch up the paneling. I got the washers, lock washers, and nuts on, and they're nice and tight on both sides. I've got it all in. I wanted to show you with the pillows strapped down. We got 2 pillows here. I got them strapped tight. And then I'm going to show you here. When I lift it up, I'll get the best I can with one hand. It just clears it. See that? I'll show it without the pillows too. But when it's up, in the up position, these 2 pillows right here just touch the headboard piece that I put in. So I'm going to go ahead and take the pillows off to show you what it looks like. Here's what it looks like with the pillows off. As you can see, right here, it's nice and flush with the top of the bed. I'm going to really like this. Now I can leave it in place all the time. It stays there. And now I can get a good view of me lifting this here. So you can see the clearance. It just clears it. Just touch slightly there, but that's okay. That's just the sheets hitting it. So in all, this turned out real well. All the materials for this, the foam was like $15 and the wood was like $10, something like that. And then I had glue around, so, and the fabric I had, so it didn't cost much, and it's permanent. I like it pretty good. So if you like this video, please subscribe. And by subscribing, you'll be able to see future videos. If you tap the bell icon, you'll see future videos. And I hope you take a look at some of my other videos. I got several of them where I've made things and done repairs. Doesn't cost you anything. I don't receive any money from YouTube, so there's no commercials, as you can see. So I hope you enjoyed it, and you might think about doing this yourself. Okay, everybody, take care and happy camping. Bye.